I'm so confused.
He's like,
Are you guys all furries? Like, what's happening?
it's like nothing is as what it seems. Are you Transformers?
Transformers, robots in disguise.
What's up, everybody? This is Zach
And Allie.
with As Far As I Can Remember.
Woo!
And as I can't even remember
No,
how long it's been.
You're not allowed to say that.
Before the show.
Yeah, no, before the show.
Guys, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. If you're joining us, you've stumbled across a something special. Something special on the internet. We also have a Patreon and everything, and how it works with this show. If you want to get it for free, second and fourth Friday of the month, you get it for free. Mm-hmm. If you want to get it a week early, you can go to patreon.com/nerdcave, toss us a few dollars, and get the show a week early. You can be special. You can help pay Allie a nickel for every drawing that she makes.
Like every frame?
No, every drawing. Animation.
A nickel for just the collection of them?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
help our artist.
Honestly, it's not too far away from how artists get paid. Actually, though.
So, guys, today we're starting a new series. We're going to be starting two, like around the same time and everything. We're going to do Percy Jackson.
Yes.
And we're going to be doing Lord of the Rings.
The movies, specifically.
We might even include The Hobbit in that whole...
Oh, that'd be fun.
Do like a whole trifecta. Not really, because there's 4 of them, but, trifecta.
What do you mean there's 4 of them?
Hobbit, and then the Lord of the Rings movies. That's 4.
Oh, you mean Hobbit the book? Because there were 3 Hobbit movies.
Yes.
So it'd be...
Yes, well, I'm going off of, like, The Hobbit would be, like...
Oh, I see what you're saying.
1.
I see what you're saying.
Because it should have been 2 movies, technically.
I agree.
And then, like, we're going to milk this cow.
And it's one of those, like, on the one hand, I get it, because it's like, you had the original trilogy, so make another trilogy to mirror it, but it's also like, you didn't need to.
No,
like,
because it got thin.
It did.
It got so thin.
And you get Super Mario Legolas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway.
So, we're going to start a new series, and that is going to be the Percy Jackson series.
I'm very excited. We were talking earlier. I haven't read these books in over a decade, and I've been really wanting to reread them, but I've been holding off because I knew we were going to record this. So I'm looking forward to being able to enjoy them again after this.
So let us know down in the comments what you want us to try to remember. And as always, if we haven't watched it or read it, we'd have to consume it and then forget it to make it interesting.
Yeah,
so,
but we will get to it eventually. We just gotta let it stew, let it simmer.
Yeah, let it fade from memory.
Yes.
My memory's a lot faster on the fading side than Allie's.
It depends on the thing. Sometimes I'm like, I can remember that one detail. I'll remember it for the rest of my life. And then sometimes I'm like, it'll be like the next day and I'm like, I have already forgotten what I've read. It just depends.
Same, but I'm more on the fading for my side. All right, guys, let's get into it. Right. Percy Jackson and the Lightning
Thief. All right. Yeah, this is going to be a little different because in the past it was usually you would tell a story or I would tell a story. Now it's more like a collaboration effort.
We're going to tag team.
Yeah, we're tag teaming this.
Like Macho Man, Randy Savage, and Hulk Hogan. Like, we're the mega powers here. All right. So we're starting this thing. Percy Jackson is a ripe age of 12.
He is the ripe age of 12. He's a tiny, tiny baby boy.
Yes, he is living in New York with his mom.
With his mom and his abusive stepfather,
yes.
Gabe,
yes. And Gabe smells.
He smells. He smells so bad, and he always has, like, his awful friends over, and they're drinking and they're eating pizza.
Playing cards.
Yeah, they're playing cards, and they're treating Sally, Percy's mom, like a maid.
Yeah.
A waitress, like, hey, like, he's a terrible person.
But Sally makes this, like, delicious dish of, like, blue cheese.
Yeah, like, it's like her and Percy have this little inside thing where, like, they make, like, blue food. It's their own little thing, and it's very sweet.
Yes. Now, Percy never met his daddy.
No.
But he's heard his mom talk about his dad.
Yes.
How they met. They met, like, on a beach.
So very sweet, very romantic. Oh.
Yeah. Oh. But never met him.
Right.
Doesn't even know that he's alive.
Yeah, he's just like, I know. Who knows?
Now, Percy Percy is an interesting chap, an interesting fellow.
Yeah.
Going from school to school, getting kicked out of school from school.
He has trouble with just because he has dyslexia and ADHD. So it's kind of hard for him, especially if teachers aren't or can't give him the right kind of materials he needs to really stay focused and do his work. Yeah, there's going to be some problems that arise from that. So he gets bounced around a lot.
Yeah. So this is almost at the summer solstice.
Yes.
As far as I can remember, it's close to the end of the school year.
Yes.
And if he gets kicked out of school, then he has to go to like another more
district.
Yeah, like strict, and it's like
a boarding school kind of
type
thing,
deal. Yeah. So he's trying to be on his P's and Q's.
Yeah, he's trying his best, and then he has his best friend.
Yeah.
Grover.
Yeah.
And he has these crutches because he has trouble walking.
Mm-hmm.
And so then he has this English teacher. His name is Kyron. As far as
Yes, I know.
It's more just me checking my pronunciation.
I know that's his later name.
As far as I can remember, he calls him Mr. Kyron.
Mr. C. We'll go with Mr. C.
Mr. C. Yeah, we'll go with Mr. C.
Well, yeah, Mr. C. And he's in a wheelchair.
Yes, he's in a wheelchair.
But he's always showed Percy.
Yeah, he's
love and attention that he needs.
And he's, he's always trying to be very accommodating whenever, Percy has trouble reading something or, just doing something Mr. C always tries to be as very as approachable as possible.
But there's another teacher, Miss Karen.
Miss Karen.
And she is the biddy. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
She's the worst.
Miss Karen.
Miss Karen.
Man, she's like this old hag of a woman, and just always has her glasses down to looking at Percy. Mr. Jackson. So she ain't nice, y'all.
No,
she ain't
sucks.
nice. So we open up scene. You can animate all of this, and it's really dope.
Yeah,
it's
totally.
it's like going through New York, and it's
there's it's the over the head. It's like sweeping through the city.
Yeah. And it's real fast. It's a lot of cuts here.
Yeah,
a lot of cuts. We end up at the Museum of Natural History.
Yes.
Okay, and boom, big old dinosaur.
Well, bam.
And the class is going through. It's a field trip. The buses pull up, and all the chitlins are coming out of the bus and everything. And Percy and Grover are hanging out.
Yeah, they're vibing.
And they're talking. And Jerome.
Yes.
I'm gonna make him the bully here.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely correct.
Okay, Jerome and Chris. And Kyle.
Jerome, Chris, and Kyle
are the bullies, and they start picking on Grover.
Yeah, and Percy's like, no, not in my house. Not today.
Then Miss Karen's like, Mr. Jackson, what are you doing?
He's like, I'm standing up for my friend. They're making fun of him.
And she just gets all over him, but Mr. C comes in. He's like, all right, guys, let's move on. Let's get with the tour and everything. So they get into the Natural History Museum. And they're talking, and they get to the Greek section.
Yeah.
And Percy's like, he's vibing.
He's vibing. He's just chilling, And then he sees some Greek on the wall. And he's like, that's weird. I feel like I can understand that.
Yeah.
That's weird. Huh. Probably nothing.
Yeah, probably nothing.
Probably nothing. It's just weird that I could read ancient Greek for some reason.
And they're going through, but he gets separated.
Yes.
And Miss Karen shows up.
Miss Karen.
And he's trying to talk his way out of the situation because she's been picking on him for a while.
Yeah, she's like, you're trying to cause trouble. And he's like, no, I'm here. I'm just chilling.
And she starts changing forms.
Yes.
Into a harpy.
Yes.
With talons and wingspan that's 8 feet long, and starts chasing Percy and trying to kill him.
And he's just like, I what? And he's like, is there something in the water? Like, what's going on here? But yeah, he's booking it. He's booking it. And he just by chance happens to get a pin from Mr. C earlier. Yes, it's a ballpoint pen.
And
a cap.
He's fumbling, trying to figure out how does this work?
Yes.
I got nothing to protect me except for this pin.
Yeah.
And he clicks the pin.
It's a ball cap. Ballpoint with a cap on it.
I thought it was a...
That's the movie version.
Is it Okay.
Yeah, it clicks in the movie, which I think looks cool.
Yeah.
But in the book, it's like a ball, so that way, like when he puts the cap on the tip of the sword, it like turns back into.
Oh, okay. Okay. So
it's a ballpoint pen.
he uncaps the pin like he's gonna do some damage, and it turns
into a sword.
Yes, a sword, and the rest of the class is going about, and Grover shows up,
and he's like, "Uh-oh," and Percy's like, "This is the weirdest day of my life,"
and all this commotion's going on. There's all this crazy stuff, and Miss Karen's trying to kill him.
Yeah.
All this kind of stuff. And then he vanquishes Miss Karen.
Yes.
She turns into a pile of dust.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I just murdered someone.
I just murdered a teacher.
I've committed
crime. What was it? I've committed war crimes.
And Mr. C shows up.
And Percy, he's like, I'm done for it. I've just murdered a teacher. I'm going to jail. Goodbye, world.
And he reveals himself to be a centaur.
Yeah, he gets him out of the chair, and Percy's like, somehow this is not the weirdest thing I've seen today.
It's like, do I have to kill him too? But he starts explaining a little bit, and that he needs to leave the city.
Yeah, he's like, you gotta leave the city, but don't worry, we have a place for you. We got a place for people like you, and you're gonna be safe there. But like now that you've been like outed, you gotta go. You gotta go.
You gotta skedaddle.
Skedaddles.
That's how he says it. You gotta skedaddle.
Got skedaddles. Percy's like, okay.
So he gets home, tells his mom crazy stuff, and she knows instantly what's going on.
Yeah. She's like, yeah, we gotta get you out of here.
So they get in their Camaro. Yes. Her mom's blue Camaro.
Blue Camaro.
And it's an oldie. It's an old Camaro. And he grabs everything that he needs. There's not much there.
Right.
But he grabs what he can, and he leaves. Him and his mom, Sally, leave.
And Grover's with them, as far as I can remember. No?
No, Grover's going to meet him there.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, never mind.
It's all good. That's as far as I can remember.
As far as I can remember. Oh, yeah, okay. As far as I can remember, Grover's not there. Yes.
So they're driving, and they're out into the
they're like in the woods because they're going to this camp.
Yeah, they're going to like Long Beach.
Yes.
And they're out there, and Percy starts like seeing.
It's like the Jurassic Park, like the water is like he's like, that's weird. What's that? What's going on here? And then all of a sudden, out of the woods pops out a Minotaur.
Yeah.
And it starts chasing them, and Percy's like, what's happening? I don't understand. And Sally's like, don't worry, I got this. And she's like drifting all over the place, and she's like, no, I got this.
Need for Speed.
Like, yeah, Need for Speed. She's incredible.
She lives her life.
Yeah, a quarter mile at a time.
And the Minotaur, though, being a beast that is like made to destroy and kill, and it runs fast. Yes. It catches the car.
Yeah, it catches up to the car.
And yeets that thing.
Yeah, just.
He's just like, yeet!
Yeet!
He's got like a beanie on.
Yeah.
And like he is a bro.
He's a bro 100%. To the extreme. Yeet.
He's called Minotaur.
This isn't White Claw. Yeet.
So he yeets the Camaro, and it's rolling, and Sally's like screaming, and Percy's screaming.
Yeah, everyone's screaming.
And it comes to a rest, and Sally's like, get out of here.
Yeah, she's like, you just run. You run.
Yes.
And he's like, I don't want to leave you. You're my mom. And she's like, run. And he's like, okay. So he gets his stuff, and he just books it.
Yeah, booking it through the woods, and the last thing he sees of his mother is the Minotaur. Get to the car.
Right.
As he's running. And he gets into the woods, and like he's hearing all this kind of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
He's seeing things that he didn't think was real, y'all.
Yeah, because it's like there's this shimmer, and it's like, the curtain's been lifted, and he's like seeing all these things, and it's crazy.
And he gets to a clearing that has a hill.
Yes.
And with a big tree on it.
Yes.
And he sees this camp down below. And as he passes past that tree into the camp, he feels the sudden relief that he's safe.
Because he has passed this invisible barrier that surrounds this camp that he's at.
So, at this point in time, Percy's like, it's like
he's like a sobbing mess, like snot he's running out of his nose. He's all sweaty and gross and hot, like he's in bad shape.
Yeah, he ain't doing good, y'all.
No.
So Chiron,
yep,
meets him out there.
He's like, "What's up?"
And Mr. D. Which we don't know anything about.
Yeah, we don't know Mr. D, but he's like kind of, he's got like a wine glass in his hand. He's just kind of chill. Like it's nighttime. He's still wearing sunglasses.
Yeah, he's got a Hawaiian shirt on.
Got the Hawaiian shirt on.
I
love
Mr. D.
I love
chilling. Grover shows up and
he's got goat legs.
He's like, and horns. It's like, what's up with this? It's like
he's like, I'm so confused.
He's like,
are you guys all furries? Like, what's happening?
It's like nothing is as what it seems. Are you Transformers?
Transformers, robots in disguise.
So Chiron, grabs him. Percy passes out from exhaustion and just hysteria.
Boy. He's Sweepy Boy.
Like the terror of the night. Darkwing Duck has chased him. He wakes up and there's this smell. It's just like this sweet smell.
He's like, this is the best thing I've ever smelled in my entire life.
And through the whole night, he's had weird dreams.
Yeah, weird
all
stuff.
of these things that he can't explain. And then he sees Mr. C in his wheelchair.
Yeah.
And he's like, but I thought you
were
were
a horse.
A horse. And he was like, well, I'm doing this because I didn't want to freak you out the first time you woke up.
Percy's like, I appreciate that.
So Chiron gives him this plate of food and everything to just kind of get him, going and everything. And
he's like, this is the best thing I've ever eaten. It's delicious.
Yes, it's nom goodness. He doesn't know what the food is yet.
No, just food.
So Chiron starts explaining what's been going on. That he is a demigod.
Demigod, which means that he is half mortal and half god. So his mother, obviously the mortal parent, but his father was a Greek god of some sort.
Yeah. And Chiron doesn't say who because
they don't know.
They don't know yet. And that's something that, every demigod.
Almost every demigod. There are some that go what they call it like unclaimed.
Yeah.
So there are some that go unclaimed, and Chiron explains to him, he's like, for now, because there's a bunch of different cabins for the different gods, for the different parents. He's like, all of them have people in it except for the big three, Zeus, Hades, and Poseidon. There aren't any children in them because they made a pact a long time ago to never have children, so we know for a fact that they don't have any children. And they never will, and they will never, ever come up, ever. And Percy's like, okay, you're being, like, really, like, obstinate about that, but okay. And so he's like, well, for now, you'll stay in the Hermes cabin, because that's where we send kids who currently aren't claimed or who never get claimed. Or actual kids of Hermes.
Yeah, because he's the messenger god.
Yeah, exactly. And
he gets around.
Yeah. Yeah. So Chiron's like, yeah, so you're gonna chill in there for now. Like, don't worry, you'll be fine. You'll probably get claimed. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, very chill and everything. So he gets taken by blonde-haired, just
very blonde hair.
Just blonde. We're gonna call him Blondie.
Yeah, blonde hair girl. She wears like a New York Yankees cap.
I was talking about the guy.
The blonde. Oh, well, you were doing this.
Luke.
Okay, you were doing this. I thought you were talking about the girl.
I'm just saying, like he's
okay, yeah. So he gets this guy introduced himself. He's like, "Hey, what's up? I'm like the cabin leader. My name is Luke Castanelos."
Yep. And I eat calzones every day.
He would eat calzones every day.
It's like lasagna in a pocket,
And Percy's like, I don't think we're gonna get along.
So Luke takes him around, starts showing him around the camp.
Yeah, he's showing him around the camp.
Shows him, the mess hall where, magic food comes out.
And Percy's like, this is beautiful.
And then shows him the amphitheater where classes take place and everything. Shows him the war zone.
Yeah, the war zone, and then like as they're walking around the camp, he's also saying like, there's the Aphrodite cabin, and here's this cabin, like, he's showing them around, and Percy's like just trying to like take it all in, like I only found out I was a demigod like 5 minutes ago.
It's like going to Disney World, but you've never known anything
about Disney,
and you lived in a shack all your life.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a fair comparison, because you're just like, it's such an overstimulus of things that are going on.
So there's all of that going on. He's showing them the forge where they make their weapons and everything.
Yeah. Cool
the
stuff.
Pegasus stable.
Pegasus.
Where all the Pegasi live and everything. And he, of course, showing all the cabins, and he gets to the Hermes cabin. This is where you're going to stay.
Yep.
And he opens the door and introduces everybody to Percy Jackson. And yeah, everybody's like, hey bro.
What's up? It's cool, man. Welcome to the Hermes cabin. We got Xbox, we got PlayStation, we got some games over there, we got popcorn, we got movie night, we got board games. Are you into board games? And Percy's like, yeah, I'm kind of into board games. Like, that's great, man. Welcome to the Hermes cabin. Even if you don't get claimed, don't worry about it. You're like, you'll be like we embrace you as a Hermes kid if you never get claimed. Like, you're one of us.
You're a bro.
Exactly.
You're a bro.
A bro. And then Luke tells him, like, hey, so by the way, we like to do this thing where we play Capture the Flag. Like, we love Capture the Flag here. It's super fun. And, well, I'll be honest, we take it kind of seriously. And Percy's like, okay. And Luke's like, no, like, we take it seriously. Like, you need to get fitted for armor. And Percy's like, what? And so he goes to get fitted for armor. And as far as I can remember, when he's going to go get fitted for armor, he runs into this blonde girl who has gray eyes. Who has gray eyes. I've always loved that combination. I think it's great. Just gray eyes. I think it's cool. So she's wearing like this navy blue Yankees cap. And Percy's like, hello, I think you're pretty. And she's like, don't talk to me. He's like, okay.
If you look at me again, I will
I will kill you. And he's like, okay. So then he gets fitted for armor and everything, and they're like, all right, so we're splitting into teams. You guys, you're on blue team. You guys, you're on red team, and we're gonna play Capture the Flag. Go. And Percy's like, okay, just capture the flag. And then all of a sudden he sees like they got like weapons, and like the kids are like going crazy, and he's like, someone's gonna die. Someone's gonna die. And then like he sees some kids who have like kind of like little like minor powers from their abilities, and like they're doing stuff, and he's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna run. And so he's running, and the blonde girl, she's on the opposite team. And so he's running. He grabs the flag, but he's gotta bring it back to the other side.
Yeah.
And so then while he's running, she corners him, and he's like in a creek. And she's like, give me the flag. Boy, give me the flag. And he's like, no, it's my flag now. And she's like, if you do not give me that flag, if you don't give me that flag, I'm gonna stab you. And he's like, okay, well, please don't. It's just capture the flag. Like, let's chill. And so then, she starts going after him, and he's like freaking out. And so he just like instinctively just kind of like goes like, no. And then water just like pushes her.
Yeah.
Just like whoosh. And she gets knocked back, and she's like, what was that? Like, what was that? And like freaking out. And so he's like, okay, sorry, bye, and like runs, and then captures the flag, and yay, his team wins.
Yeah.
Yip, skip, hooray.
It's kind of like the snitch.
Kind of, yeah. Except you don't just immediately when you catch it, you do still have to like.
Yeah.
Let's capture the flag.
Yeah.
And then as far as I can remember, she's mad.
Yeah.
Because she's like, dude, what the heck was that? You like controlled water. And he's like, I don't know. I guess I'm a waterbender. You ever seen Last Airbender?
Water. My mother.
Someone the blonde girl. She just breathes, and Percy's like, my mother. So then they go to lunch.
Yeah, they go to lunch, and Grover meets up with Percy.
Yeah, and he's like, dude, I heard about the water thing. That's interesting. Percy's like, yeah.
And so Grover starts showing him the ropes of like lunch and everything, and that they make a sacrifice to the gods before they eat. And, where each cabin sits, he's sitting with, Percy because he wants to hang out with her. Yeah. And Percy's like, so that girl, like, who is that? And he's like, oh, that's Annabelle.
That's Annabeth.
That's
Annabeth Chase. She's super cool, and you guys were like, she's so out of your league. Don't even try. And Percy's like, oh, okay.
And, Luke's around, and they're seeing everybody, and there's a moment in time where one of the students, or one of the kids of the camp, and he tells him that it's Camp Half-Blood.
Yes. Yeah, it's called Camp Half-Blood because that's how they refer to demigods, because they're half and half mortal, half thing, so Camp Half-Blood.
So there's a kid in the middle of this time. This is a time where gods will claim one of them, and there's a sound, and then there's a symbol that pops above their head.
Yeah, and it's a symbol that represents the gods. So like for Hermes, it would be like the
wing.
The wing, or For Aphrodite, as far as I can remember, it's a heart.
Yeah. Zeus would be like a lightning bolt. Hades would be a dead man hanging.
Yeah, and then for Poseidon, for whatever reason, it'd be like a trident or something.
Yeah, you know.
And so they're like, they're waiting to see who's gonna get claimed.
Yeah, and this person, whoever it is, Larry the cucumber.
Larry the cucumber is there.
He gets claimed for the very well-known cabin that is unnamed in this book.
Yeah, they're just like, oh yeah, he got claimed. Good for him.
Yeah, and everybody's like, okay. And Percy starts asking, like, will I get claimed to Grover? And he was like, well,
maybe
you should, but it's not always a guarantee and everything. And that kind of like finishes out the day. And Percy goes back to the Hermes cabin.
Yeah. He's sad.
And falls asleep.
Yeah, because he's like, what if I never learn who my papa is?
Yeah. Goes to sleep and has some weird dreams.
Some crazy dreams.
Yeah, it's like...
Tell me about the dreams.
It is psychedelic, and he sees like this dancing hippo at one point, and he was like, what is up with this? And it's just like, hey, sugar. And he's like, whoa. He's like, what is going on? And then he hears this even deeper voice.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm going to kill you. Just, I'm going to kill you, boy. For some odd reason, like it's not,
sure.
It's menacing, but it is, I'm going to kill you, boy. And it's just like, he keeps calling him boy. It's very intimidating.
It's a little weird.
So he wakes up, cold sweats, and like, someone's like, hey, boy. And he's like, freaking out. He's like, okay, this is really weird. I don't know what's going on here. So he goes to Grover, and he's like, hey, man, I had this dream. He's like, yeah, everybody has weird dreams if they're demigods. He's like, there's always monsters coming after you. There's always things, prophecies, all this kind of stuff. And he's like, prophecies?
I don't know what any prophecies.
It's like, what are you talking about, prophecies? And he was like...
It was like, oh, we have an oracle just like on standby. Like, she's just like right over there.
Yeah, she's like an old, crusty lady.
Yeah, she looks like a mummy. Don't even worry about it. She's like... That seems like it might be kind of illegal in a way. Grover's like, nah, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. So Percy's trying to figure this all out, and he runs into Mr. D.
Mr. D.
And Mr. D just doesn't care about really
He doesn't
anything,
care about anything.
But he don't like Percy.
He does not like Percy.
He does not like
especially
Percy.
does not like Percy.
And he's like, hey, boy. And he's like... He was like... starts interrogating him, messing with him and everything. And Percy's like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
And Grover's like, that's Dionysus.
And Percy's like, hold up. Stop the cameras. Wait. Like, Dionysus, like the god Dionysus? And Grover's like, yeah. And Percy's like, that you're telling me I was just talking to a god? So Grover's like, yeah.
And he was like, why is he here? Oh, it's because he's being punished. Because he would get drunk all the time. Yeah. And wasn't listening to Zeus because he was drunk all the time.
Yeah. So they sent him here as like a sober up, like probation thing, although he still drinks.
Yeah. So all that's going on, and then Percy runs into Clarissa. Which is the head of the Ares cabin.
Yeah, head of the Ares cabin. And she's super hot-headed. Like, she is willing, she's ready to fight at any given moment. She's like, you'll catch these hands, you'll catch them. And
she's not a petite lady. She's big. She is like ripped. Like
she puts 7 foot tall Ginny to shame.
Yes, she does. So all of this is going on, and then they have their first like class meeting,
right?
And this is where Chiron, he's like in full like, and he starts talking about the mission that is about to take place, because we've got to get to the mission.
Yeah, we got to go.
32 minutes.
Well, we got setup. We had the setup.
Yeah, we had the setup, all that good stuff. So he starts talking about the mission, and the Oracle has given a new prophecy that there will be 3.
3 heroes.
3 heroes. No more.
No more, no less. 1, 2, 5. No, 3. 3. It's like my favorite thing.
There will be 3 heroes that will go on a journey to find the lightning thief because someone
stole Zeus's lightning bolt.
Yes, stole Zeus's lightning bolt.
And Zeus is not happy about that.
And the world will end
if they don't, because Zeus will throw a temper tantrum.
Yes. By the summer solstice, if the lightning bolt is not returned to the Empire State Building.
Yep.
Which is where...
Yeah, you have to ride up the elevator because then that takes you up to Mount Olympus.
Yes.
Well, it's not... It's like... It's more like an abstract thing, but because it's like they can like kind of change where it goes, but they were like, let's like settle in New York. That would be fun.
Yeah, it's like where the most influential part of the world is at that point in time. So it has changed over the years. So now it is in New York. So that's the thing, and the people that are going on this are... And he pulls the names out of the hat.
We got Grover, and Grover's like, ugh. And he's like, we got Annabeth Chase, and Annabeth is like, woo, mission. And like, and we got Percy Jackson, and Percy's like, no.
He's like, I've been here for 2 days.
I don't want to be here.
And everybody looks at Percy.
They're like, dude, he's not even claimed.
It's like, how is this kid that's not,
Yeah, we don't know who he is. He hasn't been claimed. He's a no one. He's been here for like 2 days. What's he gonna do?
So, Chiron's like, okay, peace. And everybody goes to lunch.
Yeah.
And everybody eats and everything. And Percy the whole time is like freaking out. And Annabeth comes over and she's like, okay.
Like, we gotta do it. We gotta do this thing.
We gotta do this thing. I don't know what you're about.
But I know that I'm awesome because my mother's Athena. And so I'm like super smart and I'm really good at strategy. So just do everything I tell you to do and we will be fine. And Percy's like, okay.
And Grover's just like, I'm here to protect.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm here to protect. So another day goes by. They're getting ready for the trip to start because they're going to leave in about 2 days.
Right.
And at dinner that night, the sound happens.
And they're like, what? Wait, that's weird. No one ever gets claimed here. That's weird. What's going on?
Yeah, what's going on? And then above Percy's head,
we get the trident symbol, meaning he is the son of Poseidon, aka one of the big three, aka one of the gods who swore never to have children. Because their demigods' children were like way too powerful. They were way too OP. And like they would cause wars, and so they swore off. And so everyone's looking at him, and Percy's like, what's going on? And they're like, dude, you're the son of Poseidon. And Percy's like, what? And so, of course, like
my mother.
My mother. I guess for him it'd be like my father. He's just holding the pen, like my father.
So he gets claimed, and then that night means he
has to move to the Poseidon cabin.
Yeah.
And he's all alone because no one else is in that cabin.
Yeah.
But it's like this really cool, cabin. Like it has like a pier that like goes out. Like you walked out like down the steps and out, and it has a pier that's like out on this lake. There, so like he has it all to himself. And it's got cool nautical equipment all over the place. Yeah. There's like some fishnets and things. It's a really cool cabin.
Yeah, it's not like that grody like
college
seafood.
dorm.
Well, I'm saying like a seafood place.
Oh yes,
that's like really
no, it's like legit. Think like a clean like pirate cabin, like captain's quarters kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's very good.
So he falls asleep, and then he has another dream. Boy, I'm gonna kill you, boy.
I'm gonna smack you so hard.
I'm gonna wear you like a glove. It's like,
it's like I'm very disturbed.
So he wakes up. It's the day of the trip.
Time to go.
He puts all the stuff in the bag. Grover, him, Annabeth.
They head out.
They get on a bus. Now they can't have cell phones. Okay,
no cell phones.
Because the monsters and all of that can track down the cell phone signal.
They can smell cellular service.
Yeah, and they can smell demigods.
Yeah.
So they're trying to find, hints of where all of this is. And the first clue is they get sent to this place that makes like garden ceramics.
Yeah, it's like different like garden statues and like so they go there to figure out like okay, we gotta find something, we gotta talk to them, but they're like these statues are like really good.
Yeah,
they're like almost like too good.
Yeah, and the place is called Madame M's.
Yeah, Madame M's.
And it's like
It's like now something with Greek mythology and statues, like people turning into statues and a Madame M's. There's something's there.
So they go in, they're trying to find clues and everything, and Madam M comes up and she's got her hair,
like a bandana on to cover her hair. She's wearing
sunglasses, and she's like, "Hello, children.
Can I interest you in purchasing a statue?"
And they're like, "Well." They're not very good at the whole like being like secretive.
Yeah, no, they're not good at it.
And they're like, we're looking for something that's more jagged and angular.
Wink, wink.
And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
And they're like, some like, it's almost like mythically cool. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
And she's like, you're idiots.
And they're like, oh.
And they continue to like look around, and then they see a satyr.
Yes.
Out there, and Grover knows him.
Yeah, he's like, oh my god, no.
He's like, that was John.
Yeah, that was John. Like, we used to
frolic and like through the woods
and we would, like,
with
play,
the
like,
wood
the pan
nymphs.
flute together.
Yeah, and all of that.
And so they're like, oh, dude, I think this lady's Medusa, and she like turns people into stone. We gotta get out of here.
And then they hear all these hissy snake sounds,
and you can hear them being like, wow, that one guy, his outfit is terrible. Oh my goodness, she should cut her hair off. Oh my goodness, that kid, he has a bowl cut. And they're like, these snakes are so judgmental.
And you could, the shadow, like they're looking, the shadow looms over, and they can see the snakes.
Yeah, they can it's all of this. And she reveals her true form. She is Medusa.
Yes.
She is Medusa.
The marvelous Madam Mim.
And so they're like, okay, we gotta like get we gotta get out of here, but we also gotta get the
There's something in the cash.
Yeah, they know that there's something in the cash register that they gotta get.
Yeah.
And so they're like, okay, well, how do we like fight her? Like, how do we get around this? Because we can't beat her. She's Medusa. And then Percy's like, wait, what if we like I have like a mirror? What if I like just like kind of was like and so oop oop. And so they're sneaking around, and then eventually Percy he shows her own reflection, and she turns herself into stone.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes, as far as I can remember, she turns herself into stone.
Yep.
And so they're like, it'd be really useful. What if we just kind of took her head with us? And then Percy's like, that's disgusting. And they're like, but it could be useful. I mean, she turns things into stone. We just kind of take her with us.
Yeah. Grover, you'll get to put it in your book bag. And he's like, what?
Yeah. As far as I can remember, that's actually not what happened. But we'll say it's what happened.
He takes her head.
He takes her head. So yeah, so they chop her head off, and they so then they take her head, and then they go into the cash register.
Yeah, they bust it open. There's two 50s and $100 bill, and then there's a note that says Underworld.
And they're like, ugh.
But it's really poorly written, so they first think that it's underwear, and they're like, what? It's like,
and Percy's like, okay, starts taking off his pants, and they're like, no. It's like, keep them on, keep those on.
It says Underworld clearly. Annabeth's like, clearly
it says Underworld. Learn to read. He's like, I have dyslexia, thank you.
She's like, we all do.
He's like, oh, because yeah, it turns out that's a demigod thing where it's like their brains are like from the god part of them, it's like wired to read ancient Greek, so that's why they have trouble reading modern things.
So they start their next leg of the journey, which is going to the Underworld,
and the entrance of which is in Hollywood. It's like the Hollywood sign.
Yes, the Hollywood sign.
The Hollywood sign.
And as they're going, they travel, they go through a lot of different places.
Yeah, they have a lot of adventures.
All this kind of
so
stuff.
Many adventures.
They do run into Ares.
They run into Ares.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, what's up, I'm Ares.
And Percy and him don't get along.
No.
At all.
Mm-mm.
At all.
Mm-mm.
And he tries to kill him.
Yes.
Just cause.
Yeah, because he's like, I don't like you.
Yeah. I don't like your face.
I don't like your face. I don't like your dad.
Yeah. That's how I would be. So they get to Hollywood. Hollywood. Na, 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 Hollywood. Na, 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 na. I hate myself because I'm going to have to edit all of this.
Yes, you are.
So it's like
You're just making it harder for yourself.
I'm making it harder for myself. So they get to Hollywood, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the O's, they have to figure out which O they have to jump through.
Yeah, they gotta
boop through. Okay, so they're jumping. The police are like, "What are these people doing?" They're starting to come up, and then they find the right O,
and they jump through it.
They jump through it, and they're taken to the underworld. And they're like, "Wow, that's really weird." That's
okay. That's a weird place for Hades to like, you know, hitch his house for a little bit, but okay.
Anyway, now I'm going to comment on Hollywood right now.
Well,
Rick Riordan, you called it away earlier. Anyway, so they get there and they see a very long line, and they see like the river Styx, and they see the boat, and they see like a toll booth and everything, and then they see this very large, huge, 3-headed dog,
big old pupper.
Yep, and they're like, "Oh,
that's Cerberus."
How do we get through here? Because he can smell living and dead.
Yes, he can tell the difference.
And then Annabeth uses her magical mental powers, and she figures out a way to fool Cerberus into thinking that they were dead.
Right.
So they get through the toll booth. They're going under Cerberus and everything, and they're just like, they're like, "Please don't kill
sniff.
us.
Don't sniff us. Do not sniff, big good boy. Don't sniff."
And they get to the boat, and
they then
they get on the boat.
Yeah, they get
the
on the
ferryman.
boat. The ferryman.
It's like Chiron, but it's not Chiron.
It's Charon, but it's like Charon.
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe Charon. I
Chiron. We're gonna go with that.
Okay.
Chiron.
Yeah, Chiron and Chiron.
Yep, they were very similar. They get on the boat, and he like looks at them, and he's like,
"You guys aren't dead."
He's like, "So where we going?"
And they're like, "We would like to see the manager, please."
So he takes them into the underworld and everything, like to Hades.
Yeah, he takes them to where Hades is hanging out.
And they see 3 different parts of Hades. There's like the field of despair, and then there's like the happy.
There's like the fields of Elysium.
Yeah.
Which is like the best place to go.
Mm-hmm. And then like the despair, and then there's like the torture side of it. Like the despair is like if you didn't do anything good or bad in your life, you're just like you know. So they're having to figure out, okay, where is my hairbrush?
Yeah, exactly. Where is my hairbrush?
Where is my hairbrush? Yeah, they're in Hades. So there's Elysium, there's
Fields of Despair, and then
Torture City.
Yeah.
Torture City, which also could be known as Washington, D.C. Zing!
Zing!
So they see all of this, and they hear the voice.
They hear the voice.
Hey, boy.
Hey, boy. I'm going to smack you. I'm going to smack you.
And,
like, oh.
And he's like, okay. But before they left, Luke gave Percy something very special.
Very special.
And it was a pair of shoes.
This was a pair of shoes.
These were like Hermes shoes.
Yeah, they're Hermes shoes, so like they let you like fly.
Yeah, it was for escaping things or getting through difficult passages.
Exactly.
And he's like, okay, awesome. I'll just lace these up.
Yeah, just put them on. Some new kicks.
Yeah, new kicks. So they're traveling, and they run into some spirits that, they're asking, have you seen, Zeus's lightning bolt and everything? They're like, we think we saw it, and they were heading to Tartarus.
They're like, no.
And they're like, what's Tartarus? And they're like, well, that's
like the bad place.
Yeah, that's like where people like really bad. Like,
yeah, it's like where they shoved
the Titans.
Yeah, it's where they shoved the Titans
and everything. So it's really bad.
It's like the worst place imaginable.
And they're like, oh, okay.
It's like, why would you want to go back to down to Tartarus? Why would anyone want to take anything down to Tartarus?
Yeah, there's nobody down there other than the Titans.
Yeah, no one wants the Titans back. That would suck.
Yeah, that would suck. So they're like, okay, how do we get down there? And then, as far as I can remember, Cerberus busts in.
He's like, but it's like 3 heads, so it's like,
yeah, but one's like
There is one that's like...
That's like puppy, you
yeah,
know?
there's one that wants to... There's one that's like barking to be like, hey, there's someone here. There's one that's ready to fight, and then there's one that just wants... He's like really happy and just wants to play.
Yeah. So he pops in. It's like murder dog and all of that. But they like... Grover like gets his pan flute out.
Yeah, he's like...
And he starts doing like jazz flute. And like
the beatbox fluting at the same time. I can't do it because I'm not playing a flute.
And then like he like gets some fire and like shoots fire out of it. And this Cerberus is like, all right, dog.
Let's go.
Let's go. And like he says that.
Yeah, he says, let's go. And they're like, did that dog just talk?
He's like, all right, to Tartarus. So they climb on Cerberus's back, ride to Tartarus. And he's like, all the way there. They get there and they see Luke.
They see Luke Castanelos.
And he has the lightning bolt.
And they're like, Luke, you're the lightning thief? And he's like, yeah, duh. And Annabeth is very distraught.
Very distraught because Luke helped her get to Cap Half-Blood.
Yeah, she was like, it's kind of gross. I mean, but the point is that he sucks. Is that it's like he was like a father figure to her, but then she kind of like developed a crush on her as she got a crush on him as he got older.
Yeah.
And he's like now that he sees that Annabeth is there, he's kind of like, oh come on, Annabeth, it's me. Like he's like playing to her emotions. And it's not cool.
Playing to her emotions, and Percy's like, why did you take the lightning bolt? He said, the lightning bolt will bring back Kronos.
Right.
The power in the lightning bolt will help him reform faster.
And Percy's like, why would you want to do that? And Luke's just like, the gods don't care about us. Like they leave us to, sit in these cabins, and they don't even claim some of their kids. Like, and he's like, Percy, I mean, look at you. Like you're not even supposed to exist. Like the gods, they clearly don't care about their promises. Your father swore not to have kids, and look, here you are, here you stand. And Percy's like, thanks, I appreciate that.
And a lot of this is because Luke never got claimed.
Exactly.
He has a lot of animosity. He's like, so Kronos reached out to me, and he made me promises to sit me in places of high authority, to give me power. And
Percy's like, did you ever consider this? He's lying? Looks like, no, he would never do that to me.
Yeah. He's my pappy.
He's my papa.
So they get into a battle, and there's this huge gaping maw.
Yes.
It's huge, and it's like, if you pass into that maw, you are not coming back.
Right.
Like, it's, you done.
You're done.
You done.
You're
So
done.
it's like falling into a black hole, y'all.
Exactly.
So the fight's ensuing and everything, and Luke has had a lot more training,
A lot more training.
experience,
Many more years of training.
and he's just kicking everybody's butt.
Yeah, just
Kicking everybody's butt. But Percy, being from a much higher pedigree of God,
exactly.
Has
He's got some tricks up his sleeve.
He's got some tricks up his sleeve and everything, and he's besting Luke.
Yes.
But Luke pushes him back, and that's when the shoes activate. And they start pulling him into Tartarus.
Right.
Because Luke had enchanted these shoes.
Right.
To be a thing to bring the, to devastate the owner. So as Percy is falling into it, Annabeth and Grover have a magic rope.
Yeah, they got a magic rope, and they're like,
that they use from some of the snakes. They take some of the snakes off of Medusa's head, and
they're like, Percy, grab the rope, and he's like, okay.
And they pull him in back out of there, and get the shoes off of him. And while that's all happening, you hear Kronos laughing. And then, I'm gonna kill you, boy.
I'm gonna smack you. Just wait till I get out.
And
smack you.
He tells Luke to run, but Luke, the whole time, he was supposed to bring it there and everything.
Right.
He doesn't listen to Kronos at that moment, and that's when all three of them just gang up on him and get the lightning bolt.
They get the lightning bolt back.
And while all this struggle is happening, he falls into Tartarus.
Yep. Farewell, Luke.
You're like, all right.
Guess we're never seeing him again.
Yep, never going to see him again.
And Percy's like, good riddance.
So they're like, okay, we've got only a few hours
before the summer
before
solstice.
And we're in California, and we got to get all the way back to New York.
Yeah, so we are in trouble.
How are we going to do that? So Hades shows up.
He's like, what's up? And then Persephone's right there, and she's like, what's up? I'm here too, and I'm awesome.
And he's like, that's my brother's lightning bolt.
Did you steal it? And Percy's like, no, I didn't steal it. We just defeated the other guy who stole it. And Hades is like, And
he's like, okay, well, we got to get that thing back before he like goes supernova on all of us.
He's like, because my brother sucks.
He's like, okay. He's like, take this Pegasus, and this is Black Pegasus.
Yeah, super cool.
Super dope Black Pegasus. And he's like, this thing's faster than anything.
Yeah, planes got nothing on this Pegasus. Hop on it, you'll get to New York, you'll be fine.
So they hop on it, bust out of the underworld,
and then fly to New York.
Fly to New York. They get to the Empire State Building.
Get to the Empire State Building.
And they ride that thing up.
Yep.
All the way up there, and they see Olympus.
Yep.
And they're like, wow.
It's getting really stormy.
It's crazy up here.
He's very upset.
And they get to the throne room, and Zeus is... He's a temper tantrum.
He's a temper tantrum man. But the cool thing about the gods is that they're all dressed in, like, modern clothing.
Mm-hmm.
That would be, like, appropriate for the gods. So Zeus is in, like, this, like, gray like
zoot suit.
Yeah, he's in a Zeus suit. And so it's like this gray business suit. They see Hermes off to the side, and he's wearing like a tracksuit. He's got like a pager, and he's like looking at stuff. You know, he's got a sweatband on. He's doing this. Because like all the gods are hanging out there except for Hades, because Zeus is like, my brother's all goth and gross, and Hades is like, you made me like this. You told me to sit in the underworld. So, yes, Aphrodite, she's in this like really beautiful like ball gown, and Athena is in like a smart like businesswoman suit and all that stuff.
Yeah, and Zeus is like, my lightning bolt, and like,
you stole it. And Percy's like, no, I retrieved it.
Like,
that was the whole point.
We had a whole mission here, man. Like, what did you do? Zeus. Anyway, so he's like, he gets his lightning bolt, and then he calms down. He's like, all right,
I guess we're fine, but watch yourself.
And Percy sees
a man in like a big, it's like a floor like Hawaiian shirt,
yeah,
and like some shorts and flip flops.
Yeah, and like he looks at him, and he's like, Percy.
And Percy's like, that's my papa.
He's
and
like,
it's Poseidon.
It's Poseidon.
It's Poseidon.
Poseidon. And he kneels down. He's like, I am so proud of you. You worked so hard on this mission. You accomplished so many great things. I'm so glad that you are my son.
And Percy's like, that's great. Where were you for the last 12 years?
And he's like, he's like so overwhelmed with emotions and everything. But then Poseidon follows it back up with, I can't really talk to you that much because it's frowned upon and everything.
For gods to interact with their kids, and especially me, because I wasn't supposed to have you.
Yeah, he's like, I'll try to help you out when I can. Just know that I'm proud of you.
Yeah, like it's very clear that he truly, genuinely cares about Percy.
Yeah, and then Athena talks to Annabeth. She's like,
"Sup?"
She's like, "Use your smarts. I'm proud of you. Good job.
Thanks.
Tell your dad I said hey."
Yeah, and Annabeth's like, "Cool, okay."
And then no one talks to her.
I mean, yeah.
So it's all said and done. The adventure is over. They go back to Camp Half-Blood.
They're like, yeah, Luke sucked. And Annabeth is like, me.
And they inform everybody what happened, all that good stuff. And that's when Percy finds out that his mom is still alive.
Yes.
Sally is alive.
It's all very good.
Everything's happy, and
so now it's like the summer comes to an end, so he has to go back home, and he's like, I have an idea, and so he gives his mother a gift, because his mother, she always wanted to go back to arts, just because she was an artist, she wanted to go back to art school, but Gabe, being the abusive person he was, he wouldn't let her do that, and so Percy gives her this gift, and all of a sudden she makes this like incredible, like Gabe leaves, we don't know what happened to him, but she makes this incredible statue. This incredible, like, realistic statue, and she sells it, and she gets a lot of money, and now, who knows what happened? We don't know.
I guess you have to check in for the next episode.
Well, I mean,
I was alluding to this
I know,
in another
but,
episode, my lord.
I know, but it's like, yeah. But yeah, that's the lightning thief.
Yep. Guys, don't steal lightning from Zeus.
No, don't interact with Zeus at all.
Yeah.
He's literally the worst god.
Yeah, he's not a good
Sucks.
guy.
I hate him.
Not a good guy at all. All right, guys, there you go. Hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, let us know down in the comments below. And if you want to get the episode a week early, you can go to patreon.com/nerdcave. Check it out there. Join the tier that's on. All that good stuff. We got an audio version. We got a video version. Check out Allie's art. Let her know she did an awesome job. Because right now, in this moment as we record, she doesn't know what I'm going to pick.
Yeah, it's one of those, I never know what's going to get. There's times like while we're doing it, I'm like, I have a feeling he might pick this. But then sometimes it's something completely different. So yeah, it's I never know what it's going to be.
The Darth Bane ones are the ones that are like the most random. Because it's like, I'm just trying
I
to
love
find...
them though. I love the Darth Bane ones.
The Darth Banes are fun. Like I was reading book 2, and Terry.
Oh yeah,
showed up.
The pterodactyl.
It's so good, guys. Thank you so much. Make sure we also have a podcast version if you want to check that out and everything. Show love on this. Go give it 5 stars on all the podcast services so more people can find it.
Yeah, it helps us out a lot.
And the next episode is going to be awesome. Next episode is going to be awesome. So stay tuned. This has been Zach
and Allie.
Y'all have a blessed week.